Hey, I'm live. How are you? Hello, my friends. Hello, my YouTube friends, subscribers, my awesome Patreons. How are you doing? I I was so angry this morning. I took me like an hour and a half trying to set the camera up. I just want a better picture quality, but I had two cameras here. But the thing is, when you set the cameras up on the HDMI output, the problem is you have to have a clean output. Um, so if you don't have a clean, hey Jess, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining me. You are a legend, man. Thank you. I hope you guys are warm out there, especially you, Jesse. Cold weather. Yeah. Anyways, I try to set this camera up here and this one here to stream directly on the HDMI like I did last time. But somehow I upgraded the firmware and this is not allowing me to stream with the HDMI output. So I'm back to the good old school webcam. And I apologize for having a crappy, not as good of a picture, obviously, right? So I'm just gonna put these cameras away and figure out how to, take care of them. Yeah, it's just this is the 922 webcam. It's not too good, but anyways, that's I guess it's life, right? Yes, Hong Kong. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about Hong Kong. Hey, thank you. Here, and I got this cup here. It's pretty cool. Can you guys see the smoke coming up? I just made a coffee on my lens 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 tumbler. This is awesome. So people would think, oh wow, we have a lens. Check the link, the description box. I have this thing on Amazon because I got this on Amazon, and it's a pretty thing. It's a pretty awesome, you know. And the thing, it's just a little bit small here, so but it's okay, you know. Okay, let's Perry Ismail, how are you doing? Yeah, it's a little bit bright. It's not a Mr. Mitch. How are you doing? Yeah, and okay, let's talk a bit on the West Coast. In Vancouver, Canada. My mom got snow got snowed in. Um, that was terrible, and we ran out of salt, so we have to salt our driveway, and did a lot of show snow shoveling and stuff like that. The there were I think there were hundreds of car accidents and stuff like that. But I have a 4x4 plus the all season tires with the snowflake on it, so it's a little bit better on the grip, but still on ice is not too good. But I still have snow chains just in case. Yeah. Oh yeah, good. I hope it melts. But I heard there's some rain gonna come in. So snow and rain equals ice and black ice, right? So that's not fun too. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Mr. Mitch. You're awesome. Okay. I'm back in Hong Kong. As you probably are aware, this is my study room, and today's a beautiful day in Hong Kong. And something it's nice to come back to Hong Kong because it's cold, but it isn't that cold. So I'm just like wearing a t-shirt. I'm cool or a really light jacket, which is good. And I think the sun sets around 6:30. So when I was on North America on the West Coast, the sun was like starting to set like 4 o'clock, and it gets really dark really quickly 5 o'clock. So like after 5 6 o'clock, you feel like, oh gee, it's already so late. And but you go have dinner and eat and do things really earlier because the the weather, the sky, everything is dark, and when you go home it's still like 8 o'clock. So it's kind of it's a different lifestyle in the winter in North America for sure. But I mean, it's the good thing. You live in Hong Kong, it's different, different lifestyle. In the West Coast, like up in the Northeast, northwest. Sorry, um, during the summertime, like the sunset, you can still see daylight like 10 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock in the evening. So that's pretty awesome too. So there's the pros and cons. Thank you very much, Jesse, for always supporting me on the channel. And I appreciate you guys give me a thumbs up, and it's always a happy thing to see you guys give me a thumbs up, man. Oh, in Korea, yeah, it's great. So you're in Korea, awesome. Yeah, we wanted to go to Korea for the Chinese New Year, but the air tickets like three times the price. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Wow, that's good in Korea. Yeah, I think in the summer, right? Yeah. Actually, during the winter, we skied in Korea too. It's not bad, you know. You get to eat a lot of Korean cuisine, and the barbecue and ribs with the vermicelli soup. That's really nice too. So Jesse, thank you very much for being my administrator, and I really appreciate it. Thank you again, and thank you, my friends, joining me. Okay, so I'll get into the subject today. It's a heads up what's happening to Hong Kong. So I think, people have been saying last week there was a big protest coming up, but it never really happened because the HSBC Bank um, has like informed the government or something like that for all the Liberal Party, Democratic Party donations, and they seized, I think, $70 million Hong Kong. So that was like a oh, thank you. Yeah, check out my hey motorcyclist, how are you doing? I ordered a motorcycle. Later on, I'll tell you. I ordered a Honda motorcycle. It's really awesome. So it's gonna come in. I think I'm gonna. It says they say it's gonna be ready end of February, but I think I'm just gonna pick it up east after Easter time. Yeah, because I have to get rid of my old bike, sell it first, right? My old bike is 700. Is it a Honda 700 NCT? I did a video on it. I'll put the link up there later on. I did a little motorbike vlog on it. So I think it's a 2015, so it's 5 years old. But I hardly got any miles on it. It's pretty practically, yeah. I got a Honda. Yep. I like Hondas because they don't break down as much. I have one of those Piaggio, those Italian scooters. My God, it's keep on, it's breaking down, and even a simple part you have to replace. You have to take the whole freaking thing apart just to do a little thing. Like I have to remove the whole front end to just replace a light bulb. I mean, how, no comment. But in a Honda, you just reach on the behind the headlights and you just change. It's makes life a lot simple. Hey, happy Chinese New Year, Konstantinos. How are you doing, my friend? Thanks for joining me tonight. Really? Wow. Yeah, and then I played with before the 700, I had the dual clutch thing. It was fun, always had to put on an S, but it's really fun. Yeah. Okay, I'll get back to the main point here. By the way, our time here is 11:13 a.m. Saturday morning. Yep. And I got a chance to see the Hong Kong Open. Check out my Instagram page. I took a picture there holding the cup, but it wasn't me winning the cup because I'm really lousy at golf, but I like the sport. And you get to see all these international players there playing and learn met a few amateur players, and my kids made friends with them, and they're gonna get together. And I mean, when you hang out with the amateurs or the pros, you tend to play better golf than hanging out with me. Right, guys? I'm sure you guys agree. Anyway, so we're talking about the HSBC Bank. Uh, they informed the government that they see, and this government seized them $70 million on the donations. So last week there was a big protest that was held, like well, organized, but it kind of never happened. But everybody is saying, "Oh, now the those democratic uh, protesters don't have the resources So last week that protest never happened, or if it did happen, it was a really insignificant protest compared to the ones before. You know, those really big ones with the black mass people destroying things, blocking the roads, digging up sidewalks on the bricks, full them gas bombs, everything like that. And that wasn't a I it's calmed down a lot since since the government seized the 70 million donation funds from the Democratic Party. Well, and people say, oh, you know, the students, there's nobody funding the students and stuff like that. There's only people funding the CCP supporters, or the pro Beijinger supporters. Actually, you know, to my personal opinion, there's money coming in from all sides, and I'm not surprised that even money is coming in from mainland China too. Yeah, and as you guys probably know, um, uh, Trump signed the deal to protect the human rights in Hong Kong, so they have the right to ban, you know, to not make Hong Kong a special zone. Because Hong Kong is a special administration zone and it's a tax free port. Unlike mainland China, you might, you know, a lot of people think Hong Kong is China, but actually, um, let me explain this a little bit just in case you guys are kind of confused or in a way, okay? Just in case. But I'll tell you the difference. Like Hong Kong websites has a dot HK at the end. In mainland China, it has dot .cn, right? That's pretty obvious, right? Uh, the country code for China is plus 86, but in Hong Kong, the country code is plus 852. In Hong Kong, our media that we use, like we use Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, and Line, and Viber, and we use Google Maps. We use Google here. We use Gmail. But in mainland China, they all use WeChat. So everything is basically from WeChat. They will get their news from WeChat, and I think it's a everything is included in the WeChat. So you can basically pay your utility bills, pay your phone bill, pay your, you know, go shopping, you can pay there, everything like that. and and you can see all your news information from mainland China, and you still see news from outside, you know, the outside world. But somehow it's not exactly the same, okay guys? Yeah, Line is from South Korea. Yes, it is. You see all these teddy bears when you go to Myeongdong. Yeah, and so the social media and how we communicate is different from Hong Kong compared to mainland China. And in mainland China, they use the RMB, okay, Chinese yuan. But in Hong Kong, we have our Hong Kong dollar. So the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to the US dollar. So when the US dollar goes up, the Hong Kong dollar goes up. And if it goes down, we go down with them. And it's pegged to 7.78. So $1 US equals to 7.78. But in the mainland Chinese, the Chinese money, it fluctuates a lot. So sometimes when you have the RMB, this week you might get a little bit more, a few percent higher. The other week you might get it a bit lower. So usually I think it's $1 to almost $7 now. So the yuan has kind of appreciated a little bit after after uh, the Americans said they weren't manipulating currency. Okay, quote unquote. Yeah. Oh, Keko Pay. I didn't know you can have Keko Pay. Okay. And the culture too. Hong Kong people, the culture is different to the culture in mainland Chinese. Uh, I might look Asian. I mean, they call me a banana. Actually, I have yellow skin and I'm white inside, so they call me a banana. And I can't read Chinese really well, so so they call me a banana. And by the way, did you guys check my do you think I do you like me doing those stories on YouTube? Do you guys know the stories? I just show you guys because I sometimes I do when I don't have enough time to make a video on that like that. I tend to do some stories just to keep you updated. And I saw some family members, in mainland China because they gathered to in Hong Kong, no, gathered in Macau to buy all their Chinese New Year, candy and gifts and stuff like that. So they go to Macau. Generally, it's cheaper. So I did one like this. Did you guys see this? And this little girl, so cute, and she said, "I'm a foreigner. I'm not Chinese. I'm a foreigner." He says, "Yeah, I'm a foreigner." I was like, "Okay, I'm a foreigner." So they actually they don't treat me as Chinese in a way. They say, "Oh, this guy's American. They eat different. They don't eat our things. They don't talk our way. They don't think our way and stuff like that." So okay, whatever. So I hope that was an interesting thing between Hong Kong and mainland China. Look at my lens cup here. So it's keeping my coffee warm. And check the link down on the description box for this cup because I got this from Amazon. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So, and mainland China is a lot of people see mainland China is very different, okay, unique in a way. But you must understand, you might think they're not as well mannered or they don't, how can I say, they don't integrate too much into the Western society. They're used to doing the things their way. And even though when they're in another country, they tend to ignore the culture from outside of China, which isn't sometimes it isn't that good. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about this because I'm not attacking the mainland Chinese or anything like that, but all I can say it's different because even I talked to some relatives in mainland China, and they say, please don't blame us. Is because during the history time, Chairman Mao and Chairman Mao's wife led the cultural revolution. So anybody who had education, college professor, rich entrepreneurs, they will be sent to the farm or stoned to death, and all their properties has been confiscated, um, or they will be on public display saying he's a sinner and stuff like that. And the blue collar rose, and they controlled basically everything. So that was, and they broke a lot of historic things that had thousands of years of history. But now other countries during the wartime, they took a lot of artwork and stuff like that, and they're returning them back to China because China has lost a lot of those antiques and the history that went with the Cultural Revolution. So he told me, don't blame us in a way because how they are, you know, the the culture, the Cultural Revolution. And Hong Kong never had a Cultural Revolution. But during that time before the Cultural Revolution, a lot of mainland Chinese people fled to Hong Kong to avoid, the communists. As you know, Hong Kong was a British colony, so it was completely different. And did you guys notice the Chinese finally signed a deal with the Americans on the trade war, and the trade deal for China, they were kind of forced to sign it. They had no choice. because the GDP like went up 6 point something percent, 6.9%, 6.8% this year, last year, and that was the lowest for 29 years. And it has the trade war has really affected the mainland, mainland China and a lot of businesses. Even a lot of American companies, like for example GE, Maytag, Westinghouse, and they have made lots of factories in Hong Kong. And the 30% tariffs has done a lot of damage because at the end they will have to put the cost on top of the consumers in North America, which isn't a good deal. Excuse me, guys. Yep. And lots some of my friends, when I call them nowadays, I said, where are you? Are you in China? When we gonna meet up or something? I say, oh no, I'm in Vietnam. We're starting a factory in Vietnam. We're moving over our production line to Vietnam because the tariffs are killing us and stuff like that. So that has really affected a lot of factories in mainland China, and a lot of factory owners in the Guangdong province actually are investors from Hong Kong. So they're really a lot of Hong Kong people are really struggling, are really affected by the trade war too. So now, you know, China hasn't really got much choice to sign the trade war, the deal, accept the deal, because it's really affecting them, and the GDP has got really gone down, and China has lost a lot of money, and the economy is really low. And I'm sure they won't show you that, that won't show you on the news, but I do some property in mainland China. I manage some hotel business in mainland China, and it hasn't been, you haven't seen the really good progress. It's really bad for like a year and a half already, at least. And for examples, hey James, Alex, how are you doing? Perth, Australia. I've been there. It's a really nice city. I stayed at the Crown Resorts in Perth. Yeah, I love it. My whole family went there. Like I think 3 years ago. So welcome to my channel, and give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and I always try to find time for you guys, because just to keep you updated what's going on since I'm back in Hong Kong. Yeah, buying more soybeans and stuff like that. So China and the Silk Road, the Silk Road, they loan a lot of money over to these nations, third world nations. But to be honest with me, I don't think they're gonna ever get their money back, because those loans are huge. Imagine building a massive freeway in a mountainous area, and the country's GDP is so low that it's kind of impossible for them to pay. So probably China would probably lose out, on these loans. Yeah, and the thing is, World Bank, the Chinese might ask the World Bank to make loans now, and the Americans have a lot of influence over the World Bank. So I think you guys might get the picture, right? Yeah, lots of factories are in Vietnam now. Yep. Uh, so this is what's actually going on in. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. So that's the China I see, because I often go there and stuff like that, and I try to be as neutral as possible. So in Hong Kong, since I left for 2.5 weeks in North America, so in North America, I usually go stay in Vancouver because my mom's house is there, and I look after my mom, take her out, and the other city I travel is to go to Seattle. So I usually travel between Seattle and Vancouver, and it's a really pretty short drive. Or we can do a day trip in Bellingham. We'll go there to do shopping and stuff like that, and come back to Vancouver, Canada. But now a lot of Canadians don't go to the U.S. because of the strong dollar. Uh, the Mr. Mitch, you might know the Oh, thank you very much, James. Yeah, you're awesome, man. Yeah, and Mr. Mitch, I think Seattle. We used to go down a few years ago to the Seattle outlet malls. Exit 200, where the Tallulah casino resorts are. But nowadays, because of the exchange rate, it's so high. So lots of Canadians prefer to spend money in Vancouver. So this Christmas Boxing Day, they built an outlet mall at the Vancouver airport. It's just next to it, and that outlet mall was so packed. There are actually lineups at the door. You'll see all these these people lining up outside trying to get into each store, and lots of them have these sales and stuff like that. So I think the outlet mall business has kind of shifted back into Canada. Yeah, but I hope the Seattle Mall would still survive. And one more thing, you always think you might have a good deal, but to be honest, because I before when I was a kid, I always go to the outlet mall. In Los Angeles, go to Citydale outlet mall, and you always think you have a good deal, but the reality is, if if the ladies get a person or some a Michael Call or Coach or something like that, you wouldn't find the exact model outside, because in the outlet malls they make a special version for the outlet mall, and the cost of that version is lower than the original product sold in the department stores. So if you compare it to apples, actually that product isn't the same. That's what I found out in reality. And another thing is, you can get a good deal like T-shirts or stuff like that, but they might be a few year, like it might be a couple years old. The fashion, so it'll be like on clearance and stuff like that. Or I'm sure it's not the current fashion. The current you know 2019 or the 2020 model. It might be 2018 or 2017 stuff they want to get rid of. Yeah, so that's what I found out. And if you were gonna, like, for example, you go to the Bose outlet store, I think every all the prices are the same compared to Best Buy, or even in Best Buy you might get a better deal on your weekly sales, on products like that. Yeah, so nowadays I'm not as a big of a outlet mall fan than before. So that's my thing. Yep. Okay, let me read some comments. Okay, so many factories in HCMC in Vietnam. Yep. How is Shenzhen high tech stuff? Taiwan produced a lot of high tech chips now, along with South Korea. AMD, Nvidia, Apple run off the TSMC, Taiwanese chips, South Korea, Samsung, memory chips. I mean, China still has these high tech companies. They still run the Apple, Foxconn and stuff like that, but they have toned down. They have definitely toned down on production, because nobody wants to be, taxed extra on the tariffs. And you can you can really see this has really affected China. When you go to Shenzhen, the tech stuff has kind of toned down too. Because when you used to go to Shenzhen, like in Huazhen Bay, you see a lot of very, very interesting stuff. But nowadays it's kind of slowed down, a lot. So it's and talking about Korea, Samsung, they've virtually people you don't see Samsung anymore in mainland China. And I'm pretty serious. If you ask for a Note 10 or something, they say, oh, we don't carry Samsung anymore. So I think uh, Samsung is pretty much out of China. I think some political reason or some whatever, because in China, it's really political. So that's a fortunate thing. So it's the same as in the states. If you won't see any Huawei phones because they banned the sales. And I got the DJI. I just read some news article. the DJI drones are world famous, easy to use. The prices are really reasonable and stuff like that. But unfortunately, now the USA, it's there might be a data leak or insecure or the intrusion of the privacy of the country, not even on individuals, and they are thinking of changing the law or something like that, trying to ban the DJI or something like that. But I think many years ago they already banned the military, the American military in on using the DJI technologies, already. So I think that's the part of the you know the trade war thing. If and just to be really honest with you guys, in the states they always want to be number one, and they always are number one. And if some country kind of picks up and trying to overtake you, like in technology and stuff like that, I'm sure there will be really, they want to resist that, coming into their country. So I think that's one of the main reasons. And same as 5G technology. In the States, there isn't much, you haven't seen much 5G technology going for it. But I think in Canada, they already launched the 5G technology. I think it's from Huawei. But believe me, this technology is really, really fast. I haven't had a chance using it, but I'll when I get my hands on the 5G, I'm sure I'll test out and show you guys how fast they claim it. They claim it is to be. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's sad. In China, a lot of Samsung companies closed. The factories, and lot of job losses. Okay, let me talk about China and the technology, where they get their technology from, and all the technical stuff. Not yet in Hong Kong. They don't have 5G yet. I hope they're. Hey, Noah, SS, how are you doing, my friend? Thanks for joining my channel. Awesome. Yeah, haven't seen much. I think they're getting ready to launch it, and I think it's going to be based on Huawei too, the technology. Gee, I'm just so angry. I couldn't get this stupid camera. I can't get this camera to stream live, on the HDMI. If I can get, you see, there's the input here, the HDMI output. But the thing is, when you do output, the whole screen, all these aperture things will be on your thing. But the picture is a lot sharper. So my job is to get this stupid camera. I've got to find out, because even on the internet, I tried like half an hour looking out. It's called using your camera with a clean HDMI output. Clean HDMI output, and which I'm unable to do it, because I did this on the Nikon. The Nikon worked, on this Nikon here. I just connect the HDMI port to here, and but the thing is when I have connected to the output, all the display stuff would show up at the back. So that's really annoying. So I hope next time when I do a live, I can give you guys a better quality. So I apologize for having, not as a good of a quality, live stream. So you guys shoot me any questions if you have yeah, it's a perfect time. I wanted to do it like an hour, at least an hour and a half earlier, but I was kind of delayed trying to set this thing up. So I apologize again. It's hard to set things up. Yeah. And let's talk about the Chinese New Year. Motorcyclists, how are Apple iPhones selling in China? Actually, they would say they. I hate. I hope there's no 5 cent people who would attack me. They would say, "Yeah, Huawei is the best. Let's go to Huawei. We trust Chinese technology." And you'll see them using a 11 Pro, Apple phone 11 Pro.
200, like 512 gig memory. So in Vancouver, we went. Some friend invited us for dinner, and then my mom's nanny, the carer, she picked up a cell phone in the bathroom and showed me. Oh, what should I do? I picked up and I took a look at the phone. It's a Apple 11 Pro, and that's the most expensive iPhone you can get. And she picked one up, and she says, "Well, how can I turn it in? I want to find the manager because that phone is like 1,500 US easy." Uh, and I told her, thank you. I feel proud of you doing the right thing, returning such a expensive phone. I'm sure if she went and sell that phone, she'll make a lot of money. And she told me, what goes around comes around. And I said, yep, I got it. Yeah, I do return phones when I do return things when I pick it up. So good for her. Oh, thank you, Jess. So okay, let's talk about what was I going to talk about? Yeah, low Nick's phone. Yep. Oh, really? Yeah, 11 Pro Max is good. So people, the mainland Chinese, they'll say, "Oh, Huawei phone is good," blah 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 blah. But the thing is, why I don't get a Huawei phone is because you do appreciate when you have a phone that runs on Android, right? And I always tell them, if I get a Huawei phone and I spend because Huawei phones are expensive too. Don't think they are cheap. They have the super zoom and all these functions. That's awesome. But I always tell them, I love this phone. I want to get it. But if it doesn't have an operating system from Android, do you think I'm just gonna get a blue screen? That was my joke, because they always threaten people. They always threaten people, like Google. It might be a national security if you have Google, anything Google on the Chinese mainland phone. So so that was my joke. I don't know, but it's true. You spend 800-900 bucks on a Huawei phone, and you won't get any more Google Play updates or system updates from Android, and you'll be pretty much screwed with that phone, right? As I said, a blue screen, turn it on, and how doesn't matter how awesome the camera is. There's no operating system to run the camera, so that's the thing. When I go to mainland China, I use my Google Pixel, and I have the Pixel 2, and I'm just as happy because on the it roam there's actually no roaming, so the data it's included, so you pay what you use. So I use it in mainland China, and the thing is, you can use it for over 160 countries, and you don't need any VPN and all that. And so when you go to mainland China, nothing is blocked. So all your social media, everything you're used to using, it will be there. And plus, when you get a SIM card like overseas in China, or you go Malaysia, Singapore, or something like that, they have to nowadays. They have to copy your passport, your personal information, and I don't really enjoy them taking my personal information just to get a SIM card, right? Because they'll just photocopy whatever information before they issue the card to you. So that is not fun. Yeah, no Android system. Yeah, Mr. Mitch. Yeah, she was nice. Yeah, the iPhone 6s. It's the battery sometimes. Even the Note 7 on the Samsung had a lot of issues too. So yeah, and let's talk. Yeah, I'm back, guys. Uh, I remember what I was going to talk about. Did you know actually Tesla is the first company in mainland China to be a private company in mainland China, not joint venture, because the law was before, if you did any company in mainland China, it must be a joint venture company. So that was a major issue because when they, like Toyota has a joint venture company, Honda has it, Mercedes, BMW, Isuzu,
all these major GM, Ford, they're all joint venture companies. So when they join venture to the Chinese companies, a lot of technology will be shared with China, right? That's pretty obvious. But uh, Tesla was actually a breakthrough for China, for Elon Musk, because no technology is being shared, or there's no joint venture. It's just purely a private company operating in China. And could you believe, when I first looked at the Roadster, the Tesla share was only, when I looked at it, was only like $16 a share, and now the share is over $500 a share. Is that crazy or what? I mean, even a few months ago, it was like 290 something hanging there, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll buy it. But you never know in Tesla. That's, I don't know. Is it a high risk stock or something? Because you can lose it all in really overnight. So you never know. I mean, now it's like 500 plus a share. It's so expensive. And who knows, would it go even higher or would it dip? So this is the thing about the stock market. Okay, another thing I want to keep you updated is uh, that the CCP has focused. There was a big celebration, I think 25 years or something like that, of the handover between China and Macau. And I think the CCP has said we're kind of given hope, given up on Hong Kong, because Hong Kong people are not, they don't listen to the CCP. They fight against the CCP, and they don't listen to them. So the Macanese in Macau are very good citizens. They listen to the mainland Chinese. If they propose any law, like the Patriot Act, like in the States, and they call it the Article 13 here. And in Macau, there says, yes, we approve it. It's good. These and before, even the colonial days, there's a statue of some Portuguese sailor or captain. They say, oh, we don't like this thing, just remove. Okay, and they will say, the Portuguese will say, okay, we remove it. Um, so they listen to the CCP, and now they say they're trying to change Macau, not just into the mini Las Vegas. They're trying to change it into a financial hub to replace Hong Kong. So a lot of Hong Kong people has have said, yeah, sure, I'm sure that will be, yeah, that won't be possible, not even in their lifetime, because the infrastructure in Macau, everything is set up so differently to Hong Kong, believe me. And the population in Macau is like 500,000, and Hong Kong is like over 7 million. And Macau is just so small, and the road system is so small. Even in Macau, I have a car that's so small because you can't even get a parking spot if you drive a big car, right? Oh, so I don't think they would. I don't think Macau would ever take over Hong Kong as a financial hub. And even now, they say the Greater Bay Area, telling people, "Oh yeah, it's great going to the Greater Bay Area." Yes, it is great, going to the Greater Bay Area in mainland China. But kiss goodbye to your social media, your email, your androids, whatever. All those will be gone. Your news, you know, these are the things you would sacrifice going to the Greater Bay Area, uh, and they will be different, and they will be under the CCP communist rule. And yep, that is different. Hey, Dave T, long time no see. Oklahoma, great. I always wanted to go back to Norman, Oklahoma, just to check out my college. I miss Oklahoma. I miss driving there. It's just such a straight road. You don't need to turn.
So welcome to my live chat. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody, my Patreons, my subscribers, everybody. Thank you so much. So Noah SS has a question: are you still in the EV charging business? Yes, I am. Kind of. And how do you see Singapore benefiting from situation in Hong Kong? Singapore is Singapore, Hong Kong is Hong Kong. That's for my my point of view. If I move to Singapore, it would be never be like Hong Kong, because Hong Kong, I feel I'm just so comfortable. I miss Hong Kong so much. Even my my kids, my wife wants me to move back to North America seriously this summer, and she's giving me a lot of pressure. But Hong Kong is just so convenient. It's just in the middle of everything. Mike Lee, if you become my Patreon, so I have 3 tiers. So the highest tier is a lot of money, so I won't even recommend. The other tier is sometimes I'll make some videos and some like that. And if you're in the medium tier, I send out. Sometimes I buy stuff from Shenzhen, just a surprise little gift for you guys from Shenzhen. You know, so that's the advantage of being a patron and supporting my channel, because I make I don't make basically I hardly make any money on these videos. And if I talk too much on the protests, I'll be completely demonetized, stuff like that. So thank you very much, Mike, for asking. It's something for you to consider, and it's not mandatory. It's okay if you don't support me on Patreon or anything. Just subscribe and see me. I'm just as happy, guys. And obviously, I thank you for the my patrons that support me on the channel too. Yeah, man, Dave T. I mean, we met like a couple years ago. I mean, please contact me when you come to Hong Kong, or love to hang out with you. Have a drink, coffee, or have lunch too. It's my treat this time. You're so awesome. Last time, Dave T treated me last time, and it was just awesome. So Hong Kong, and yeah, and I was talking. You know, Actually, I was giving shit to the mainland, my relatives in mainland China. Seriously giving them shit, because last time when I went there, oh, how did you leave Hong Kong? Hong Kong's rioting, everything's on fire, police everywhere. How the hell did you come to mainland China? I said, I'm here, am I? And I told them, don't, you know, your father from the CCP, Jiang Zemin, okay, told you guys, you're citizens, don't be so naive, okay? So every time I just quote the CCP leaders, what they say to them, and they don't, they don't, and they'll just say, okay, okay, okay. So that is the that is the thing. Uh, they How can I say it? They are naive in a way, but it's not their fault they're naive, because they always see this. Their news source is WeChat. The world they live in is WeChat, and WeChat censors everything. Even I send, we take group photos together, whatever. I send it to them. I might get a couple of photos through, and the other photos might be even you can't send them for some strange reasons. Or if you say something sensitive, the message won't go through, and that's a fact. Okay, and I'm not lying. And if you do a group chat talking against the CCP, you'll be arrested and put in jail. And there are many cases. So that is how the system works in mainland China. And I'm not, people are saying that I'm some people, the Wu Mao, those 50 centers, but I'm just saying what I've seen, the facts and all that, because I do know officials in mainland China, and I know what are their orders. And something really amazes me in mainland China. There's so many people, so many provinces, so many cities, so many villages. But when the CCP says something, they it just enforces the whole thing. The law just right across the country. It just gets enforced right, like just like a snap. And I think no other country can kind of do this kind of stuff, you know. But it just amazes me, right? Oh, the $88. I'll do anything for you. $88, I'll just hands down, whatever you want me to suggest. You want me to make a video or anything, I'll dedicate making videos for you. Anything. Yeah, that would be so awesome. And you can join for a month, and you can quit anytime you like. There's no obligation or anything like that. You know it's just the Patreon that supports, because Patreon came out because YouTube starting, demonetizing a lot of people. And when they demonetize me, they still have these ads running on my channel. So they are still making money off my video. So it's not fair in a way, because a lot of creators do spend time and lots of things like that. Time, equipment, to make videos and stuff like that. And YouTube is just not being fair. That's why how the Patreon has become so successful. Like, even for me, getting the microphone, getting camera gear, these costs money to get, right? And I try to get you guys the best quality possible to make videos. And even this microphone I'm using, I'm not using the webcam camera and stuff like that. And these media boxes, just to connect to the live stream to make a clearer picture. So all these cost money. So one of the here focus. See, this webcam doesn't focus really well. So this here. See, these are the all these equipment that cost a lot to give you guys. I try to give you guys the best quality possible. So, and I'm a small channel. I'm just here, and I try to be balanced, telling you everything you want to know. So you guys shoot me a question or anything, because I always like to talk to you guys uh, once a week. I try to make it constant. Okay. And one thing I want to say is, um, I ran I 2 days ago, Mr. Mitch, right? A couple of days ago, there was a big snowstorm in the west coast, the northwest, and the driveway, everything was snowed in so bad. And guess what happened? My furnace broke down. It just happened when it was the coldest day. Okay, it snowed in or iced. So our internal temperature of the house was freezing. So that was a bad deal. And something I really wanted to, yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for the videos downtown during the chaos. It was very brave. We were waiting for Donnie Yen to come and rescue Hong Kong. Sarcasm. Okay. Yeah, I try to. Yeah. Okay. So this is a big kind of a story that I'm just dissatisfied living in North America. I'm not saying it's some people that they're so stupid. I get so angry when you depend on somebody, on some services and stuff like that. You expect them to do what they're professional. They're professional people. So our furnace, we already changed it a few years ago. It's a pretty pretty new furnace. So let me get some pictures here to show you guys, and I hope this will focus. Here, be patient with me, please. Okay, so this is my furnish. It's a Weisman furnace from Germany. So this supposed to be a ceramic. How do you say this? A ceramic thing that keeps the heat, but it broke down. You see, it just crumbled up, right? And it all became flaky. So our house runs on the pipe, the hot water pipe heating, right? So it just all flaked out, right? And we called before we called, the Asian technicians. They're from Hong Kong, so they say, "Oh, we're from Hong Kong. Give us a try. We'll do everything for you." So this furnace, what was their original quote for this furnace? Here's our heating room. Here, focus, guys. See how lousy this camera is? I apologize for being so lousy. Okay, so this furnace here, there's two furnaces. Okay, so that's the heating on the underground heating, and this furnace. Okay, and these are two Wiseman furnaces. Okay, and yeah, radiant heat. Yes, you got it. We asked this Asian guy, and you saw those two furnaces. And he said, "Well, I'll give you a quotation." And I told him, "Okay, sure, yeah, yeah, because yeah, we're from Hong Kong. We moved over like 10 years, blah 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 blah. So okay, I'll give it a try." And they wanted $75,000 Canadian. So that's around like $70,000 US to change out this heating system, because we used to use those big gas heaters, the furnace before, and they were really inefficient. And the thing is, I wanted to change at that time because the gas company was handing out a rebate for $3,000, right? So I got another Asian guy says, okay, we'll do it for you for cheaper. So they charge like 30 grand for it. But I said, at least you get $3,000 back. He said, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So he did the work, took my money. And I said, yeah, well, what about, did you apply for me for the gas company to get the rebate? Nah, that's not important. What the fudge? That's, yeah, I'll do yeah. In Canada, if you don't have heat, you die. It's so cold. Yeah. So, and then we did, and then he says, "Don't worry about it. It's only 3,000. It's not significant." And how can you do this after I pay you for the job, right? It's total BS. And when every time he comes over, he'll just say, "Yeah, yeah, some part we have to replace and blah blah blah." And anytime he'll come over, he'll charge you $1,000. That's almost, you don't have to say. You just close your eyes, give him $1,000, and he'll walk away, and he say your problem is solved. And so this time when it broke down, the my mom's carer called that guy. I said, "Don't call him anymore. Please don't call him. Uh, Call the Wiseman Service Center and let them recommend one. I don't care, you know, but whatever, don't call that guy." So it was like yesterday, okay? Because I didn't get much sleep because of time, it's opposite time. So they called me like 4 in the morning. But anyways, and then Wiseman sent a contractor, an authorized contractor, to come to take a look at my furnace. As you see, all the ceramic surrounding my furnace has like crumbled away. And then this guy came and checked everything, and he was really thorough and stuff like that. And he says, okay, I'll report, he take photos and stuff like that, and he'll report it to Wiseman and see what's the situation. And then he said, um so here's the Wiseman heater. Here's the brand, in case you guys, it's supposed to be a really good a really good brand. If this stupid thing can focus, sorry guys. See Wiseman, okay? And it says fault. And can you see the juices leaking out on the front panel? And you see the temperature has gone completely green. Here's the water leaking out. See? And it's a pretty new, it's like a couple years old. And that's crap. And And the guy said, "Yeah, it's a pretty big job because they replaced the whole internal parts." And they talked to Wiseman, and then that guy called them and explained the whole situation, gave him pictures. He said, "This is under a recall. We can do it for you, and we won't charge anything for it." See, that's that is for not looking for an Asian contractor, because if you are in North America, that's where I was in Vancouver, and they think you don't know shit about anything, they'll come to rip you off. So this is a perfect example how they ripped me off. So I'm not looking for that guy anymore. So this guy came over. He's a really awesome guy, and there's no heat, and I wanted my mom to move to a hotel right away. Anyways, see, there's my poor old mom freezing with an electric blanket, like froze, at the home. So that wasn't too good. So this guy came over, this guy, and he came to check my thing, and he checked everything, took everything apart, and he called Wiseman, and he said, "We'll get it express, have it express mail, and we'll send you the whole internal parts for, as soon as possible." So here is all the see, here's the box, all the parts. They just send it express, and the factory took care of it. The dealer took care of it. So that was really good. So the whole, yeah, Asian ripoff. I mean, you're Asian, and they say, "Yeah, we're all Asian. Will you look after each other?" So they'll come and rip your ass off. What the fudge? I'm just this thing. I really wanted just to do a vlog to just call them out, man. How the hell? How dare them? If come and rip me off. Like the gas company. I got that was $3,000 from the gas company. They would a rebate. They'll give me back. But he said, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And they fixed a little small gasket last time it was leaking, charged me $1,000. So this time, you know, I just call the company. They send over whoever. I don't care or race or whatever. But the best thing is don't send me an Asian guy. I'm Asian. I'm saying this kind of shit to you guys, because they'll rip your ass off. They rip me out off. So anyway, yeah, she's okay after Philippine trip. Yes. So so it's all resolved now. Um, the furnace is up and running. It took 12 hours to heat the house back up because it was so cold, and luckily the walls and all that don't crumble a little bit. Sometimes they warp and stuff like that because the internal temperature gets so cold. And plus my mom's in the house, so she's over 80, so that's no good. Anyways, so so if you have repairs, you gotta just call the authorized dealer, get a quote. Don't look for these Mickey Mouse people, especially these Asian guys. It's not the thing is not just he ripped me off on this thing. uh when my mom was there, they replaced the toilet. Okay. And they said, well, we replaced the toilet that is a one piece, and it's a Nola cola. Is it called a cola toilet? And it's really good. It's a one piece. The tank, it won't last. But the original problem was the toilet was the seat. It was broken. It was because it was too old. So they replaced the toilet. And guess how much he charged me? You guys give me a comment. Tell me how much they charged me. $1,000. They charged me. They charged my mom $1,000. I mean, how can you take advantage of an old lady? So last summer when I went back, I replaced a few toilets myself. So I just go to Home Depot, buy a toilet for on sale 380, 389, get American standard, and just change them out. And then all you have to pay is probably no, you pay for the dumping thing, the trash. So that's really cheap. So that's, yeah, Mr. Mitch. This is, you just get freaking ripped off. $1,000 to change a toilet. So this guy, I'm not gonna look for. And another guy, a house painter, he offered, well, your house might be leaking and stuff like that. We have to do a whole weather seal around your house and all that. I wouldn't even talk about the price. That's how much he charged me for it. And there's no contract, no quotation, no nothing. And they just came over and said, well, and did a half-ass job, and I end up just paying like a third of the price, and just tell them to f off. You know, off. That's how pissed I was. So that's when you live in North America, you gotta deal with all this kind of BS. This is just totally outrageous. I just don't. ah. So I just, I don't. It's BS anyway. So that is one of the things. If Asian people won't take care of Asian, they all they take care is their wallet. They care for their money. That's all they care for. So when you are in North America, you gotta take care of your own problem if you can, or call an authorized dealer, because they'll screw you to the wall. And I guarantee you guys, that's freaking crazy. I'm just, everything they call it, they just say yeah. And then they saw my SUV. Well, I have a Lexus. It's a Land Cruiser 80 series. It's a 1997. They said, well, you always have this Land Cruiser sitting in your garage. The white one I had on some videos. They said, well, I'll buy it for you for $1,000. I said, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. You just don't know what you want to say with to them, because that it's not it's not a beater. I restored the whole thing. I repainted it. I did, lot. It's all up to date. Nothing's broken. No lights, showing up on the dash. No, well, I'll offer you $1,000 cash for it. So I'm just so freaking pissed that Asian people rips Asian people off. I mean, seriously, like if my dryer needs a belt or something like that, and the Maytag guy comes over, he'll charge whatever needed. The labor and part, everything's written on the thing. It's just all standard. It's fine with me. But no, BS stuff. You just, yeah, $1,000, whatever I feel like. Yeah, 1,000. So that's I'm just all worked up talking about this kind of BS. It's just terrible, guys. Sorry, I'm just ranting here. But they should, I can't be there all the time. My mom's there. So what can she do? She has no toilet to use, or no, she'll just say yes, yeah, okay, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But no more yes, for her anyway. So the nanny, just the Filipino, just calls me, and I'll talk to that guy directly. And he wrote me a nice email. It says, well, we'll cover it up uh, under the warranty, the recall notice, because there was a factory flaw on it, and Wiseman would pay for all the expenses. But since you wanted the part urgently, we might have to charge you $80 for the FedEx, the express delivery, because everything was snowed in. And so I was, yeah, sure, fair enough, right? You just got to make a fair deal. So that's the case. Okay, so that is finished ranting. And you want to hear some more ranting? Isn't it fun ranting? Oh dear. And spending Chinese New Year in mainland China is a very lonely thing, because I spent a few Chinese New Year in mainland China, and it's like a dead city. I mean, seriously, every single thing is closed, even 7-Eleven, all the restaurants, stores, usually you just see the gates all rolled down, shutters rolled down. There's nothing open at all. So it's pretty lonely spending spending Chinese New Year in mainland China. And even in Hong Kong, what you do, you just hang out in the family places. Excuse me, the uncles, aunties just sit there, open the melon seats, and drinking tea all day, and just just keeping a smile on your face. And unfortunately, last year, a few of my uncles died, but they all passed 90 years old. That's amazing. And they left really like they they just went to sleep and just went. So that was good for them. Oh yeah, you seen my videos in the mainland during the Chinese. So I last week I asked the kids, well, um, I don't think we're gonna spend time during the Chinese New Year in Hong Kong or mainland. And plus, you save a lot of money because in Chinese tradition, when you see the people like family members or friends, you give out red packets. So red packet is like lucky money. So you would usually have $4, $5 US, or if you know the people, or if a security guard sees you every day like that, you would at least put $20 US and a lucky red packet. So you would save a lot of money handing out money. But these security guards, they secure, so when we come back, we still pay them like the red packet. But when usually other people's, we don't have to pay. We're not obliged to give so much red packets out. So that's a lot of saving. So have you guys guessed where I'm going for Chinese New Year? Yeah, sell my car. That Keith sold my car to Wilson Seat Milk feature on Winston Worthless Whips. Yeah, but I use my Land Cruiser. It's a trusty old car, and mostly every summer I would drive down to California. I'll put a rooftop tent there, and we go camping. It's all summer fun. I love it, and even now, I have the latest Lexus in North America. I have the Alex 550 or cars like that, but the trunk, the seats are not removable, and you have a lot less in interior space, and plus it's a 5.7 liter V8, and it's really inefficient. And even though I can afford to pay the gas, it's just so inconvenient because you have to go to fill up the gas so many times. And believe me, in the gas station at nighttime when you're driving like overnight, you meet a lot of very interesting people, with empty cups. If they're not violent, I give them a buck, it's okay. But sometimes you see these druggies, it's just scary. So that's one of the reasons that we don't like to drive the really thirsty SUVs. So this one is that kind of thirsty in a way, but it's still manageable. It's a 4.5 liter straight six. So that's one of the reasons. Yeah. So okay. So I'm going to Philippines. I'm going to the Philippines. So any Philippines subscribers, friends out there, I'm coming down your way. And yes, let me rent a little bit on the Philippines because I checked the airlines. I mean, how can I say, the airlines are price manipulators? Okay. So during the Chinese holidays or any Easter summer break, the price would go up like so much. It'll go up two, three, four times, believe it or not. So, for example, if we go to Thailand in the regular days, it will cost probably, I'll say in Hong Kong dollars, $22,000 or $2,200 Hong Kong. But now, if you check your air ticket, you want to go to Thailand, Bangkok, it will cost 7,800. So that's bullshit, right? And the hotel rates, everything, they will go up. So it's hard to, they'll price gouge you. And okay, so you go to Thailand because Thailand is one of the cheaper destinations. If you go to anywhere on the map on in Japan, it will cost you around $13,000. So that's around $1,500 US for one round trip ticket. And usually it will cost like only 500. Okay, so we thought about going to Japan. So my daughter says, Dad, uh, just don't go to Japan. Don't go to Thailand. Uh, go back to Los Angeles. I want to go home because in Los Angeles it's high, but
excuse me. In Los Angeles, the ticket is even cheaper going to Japan. So it costs us less to go to LA than going back to Japan, going to Japan, a 3.5 hour flight. So what do you guys think about it? Hey, no SS. Yes, you're right. We got tickets to the Philippines. Yeah, we're happy. So we're not gonna stay in a hotel because there will be four of us. So if we travel four of us, we have to get two hotel rooms. So it's gonna be a lot expensive. So in Makati or in Metro Manila, Pasay or somewhere, we can hire rent one of these apartments, and they have like two bedrooms and stuff like that. So it'd be awesome. Yep. So we are gonna spend our vacation time. So when we got the tickets last week, okay, and I told, yeah, okay, so we're going to Philippines, gonna take, and then the next day, guess what happened, guys? Guess what happened? Guess what happens? Volcano, the volcano explosion, boom, boom, and smoke. Because I have some friends in the Philippines, in Manila, they said even the ashes are blowing to Philippines, and you still need a mask. And there's nothing to do because we prepaid for those air tickets to the Philippines, and they're non-refundable. So pretty much we have to go. Hey, Mr. Mitch, good night. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for being so awesome, man. Take care. And Mr. Mitch is awesome. He always come to my channel, gives awesome comments, and likes my channel. Yay! Thank you, guys. Yeah. So we're going. So I hope this volcano won't explode because they're saying the roads are cracking and stuff like that. And did you guys see any? Uh, we already paid everything. Yeah, Baguio. Yeah, I heard Baguio is good. It's like 5-6 hour drive. We use Cathay Pacific. Yeah, because Cathay Pacific, the wifey wants the miles and stuff like that. So you can use it for like a lounge, or you can use a priority booking seats and all that BS. But actually, Cathay Pacific is really expensive, so that sucks. Yeah, so the volcano. So we don't even know, and the school's even off and stuff. I think the school's already resumed or something like that. But the volcanic ash, did you see it? It's like a couple inches thick, and you can even wipe it off your car. And honestly, I'm gonna get some N95 mask. Just pack a box there in case, because you never know what's gonna happen, right? And the people said, the government says, what do you call those, seismologists or people out there? They say uh, the roads are cracking up, so they believe the lava really wants to come out. So I hope next week there won't be a major explosion, because if the volcano really explodes, we're gonna be in big trouble. And when the flights get canceled out, we're gonna have issues rebooking getting back home because it's gonna be chaos. So that's another thing I want to rent. There's nothing we can do because one of the things we go to Manila is it's cheaper. So, and we don't have to be so lonely for the Chinese New Year. And another thing, we're like reciprocal clubs, the golf clubs, so we can play golf for free. So it's really awesome if we can play golf. Like we went to Thailand. I don't know, did you see my stories? I like doing the stories. Okay, so you guys can check my stories out too on YouTube. Um, they don't charge you anything, so it's really nice. And the kids just hang out at the golf course for a day, not spending any money except for transportation. So I think it's totally worth it. Oh, that's good. If it's not, it's 65 kilometers, like 40 something miles away from the volcano. They call it the L volcano. Yep. So these are the main points I want to cover. And nowadays, it's good you don't see many protests. So I think, personally, I think it's a lot.
to do with the $70 million getting seized by the government. And remember, I did a video on the mainland Chinese banks building the steel walls and stuff like that. Uh, HSBC has done that too now. So they build their steel walls are even tall. They go like 20 feet up. The steel walls 20 feet up. So there's no way you can break the glass or go in or destroy. And the ATM machines, they even seal off. They even close the ATM machines there because they believe HSBC sold them out. So, anyways, thank you very much. You guys are so awesome. You guys gave me a like. And, if you guys ever come to Hong Kong or if you guys in Manila next week, hit me up and be awesome to have a cup of coffee and stuff like that with you guys. So I'm going to end this uh, live. And, so Hong Kong is, in general, Hong Kong is pretty peaceful now, and which is really good. And again, I apologize for those stupid cameras. I can't get a clean HDMI out. Has to come with all those apertures, all these settings, and it'll be, yeah. So Jesse is my moderator, and I always give a shout out to my friend Jess because he's, it's awesome that he helps me out. Thank you very much, Jesse. Thank you. Yeah. So if you guys want to WeChat me or anything, hit me up. You can WeChat me anytime too. Okay. So I'm gonna say good night for you guys, and I'm gonna say good afternoon for us, because we are on the other side of the world. So you guys have an awesome weekend. Safe driving. If you're cold there, stay warm, and take care. And I'm signing off. Bye, guys.